The basic underlying idea is that the body is wise and it's not going to let anything go that it's not ready to let go of. So we can trust the body's experience. Like it's not like, oh, I'm not ready to release that. If you're not ready to release it, you won't. So don't worry. Your body is your friend, not your enemy. Okay? Like so often people kind of be like, oh, my shoulder's tight, and it just has to let go. And like, really? Well, then why is it holding? It probably has a reason. Right? So this is a great area to work with, and it's okay if people feel all kinds of things while you're working on it. Then they have the shoulders. If someone comes in specifically complaining or telling you about their shoulder tension, then you can work with each shoulder one at a time, again by sliding one hand under and then holding the other on top. And this can help a lot, especially if there's a pattern of rounding the shoulders or shoulders back. I'm fine, everything's great, then we can help work with that, not by manipulating the area with movement, but more just helping hold however they're holding their body. Does that make sense? So the idea is that we're not trying to be like, oh, no, I think your shoulders are a little bit slouched, let's push them back like this. That's different, right? That's sort of like, let me fix you mode. But it's different than holding and like, oh, I see that your shoulder wants to curl in a little bit. Let me help it do that. Let me just very subtly allow you to, that's okay. Who you are and how you make up yourself is your beautiful story, and let's help you do that more. And usually with that, people will be like, oh, thanks for helping me. I'm going to relax a little bit because it's working a lot of work to hold my shoulders like that. And now that I can just, someone else has got my back, so to speak, I can relax inside of that holding. Right? So it's taking over. It's called taking over. Take over their holding pattern. Does that make sense? So if you're going to do the shoulders like this, you probably need then to get up and do the other side if you're doing the sandwiching. Right? Another option is to do it like this. So I'm going to show a lot of positions with the hands, so that you're not going to do all of them in every session, because then you'll be like, slow down, okay? So if you wanted to do just the tops though, then this would be a good position. And what organ I'm treating here is the lungs specifically. So I'm right over lung 1, which is the front influential point of the lungs. It's about 1 thumb width below the clavicle. Yeah. And if you push there, probably find some tenderness. So you find this corner here, and you go down one thumb width. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what we're going right over. So in Susanna, we can go right there. That's where I'm putting my pericardium 8 on top of. So the lungs typically work with grief, But again, the mouth isn't the territory, so we might say, oh, lungs are for grief, but someone comes in and says they have a cough, and you're like, oh, you probably have grief. It's a little bit of a one-liner. It's not really allowing for what's there to evolve. So I'll talk about things like the lungs are about grief, but that doesn't mean that it's always about grief, because that would take the mystery away from figuring out what's happening, right? Then we would know, and then the cup would be full, and then it would be knowing everything, which is boring. Okay. So the next position is mostly working with the heart area. So there's a couple of different options here. You could do this T position to not go directly on the breasts. Okay. You could do this position where you're just kind of holding above and below. And my favorite position is the sandwiching one. So again, I'm using the opposite hand, I'm going underneath, and I'm going to take my hand, like if my hand was literally under here, I would go, so here's the scapula, I'm going around the scapula, in between the scapula, maybe like where the rhomboids are. Does that make sense? Because if you go right on the scapula and you're half on, half off, it can feel a little weird if you have a lot of pressure. Not for the practitioner, but for the person receiving. So I'm going under, I'm two parts. I'm lifting with the hand that's going to eventually be there, and then I'm going underneath with opposite hand so I can lift even more, and then I'm going all the way under with the hand that's going to be on the bottom.
Your hand behind is side to side, not like this, right?
You know, it's actually at an angle.
Okay.
Because that's where it's going to be the least dent in my hose.
Okay.
Right, holding
Okay.
onto it. If I went like this,
You'd
or
be
like
torquing
this,
yourself
I'd
in
be
a weird
torquing
way.
myself. So again, that goes when we go into the external reference of like, where's the hand goes up this way, which axis? But it's like, we had people in a different way.